All right, I'm gonna start. Hey, this is Alvin.
And this is Parapants, and it is very late because
Hey, hey,
Alvin
go ahead.
always has to take copious notes when it comes to watching. I don't know anybody else. It's like he's taking a class in anime, and he has to be a good little student and take notes. I don't understand that.
You all right?
Other than that, it's good to see you again, Alvin. It's been a long time.
mm,
I've
um,
missed you.
yeah, all right. We just watched Uramichi Sensei.
No, you can't
Uramichi,
just come back
what?
after a long
Nobody
absence.
watches this show. It doesn't matter. It's like we never left. What was this? Uramichi, what? Something.
You can't, Alvin.
Uramichi Oniisan.
Alvin, you can't address. You gotta address this properly. It's been how long since we?
I don't even know. I was ready to jump into it. I'm
No,
all
no, no,
about.
no, 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 no.
Oh my
Come on,
god.
come on. You
What?
can't do
All
that.
right. Well, say what you want to say.
I'm saying I'm trying to properly greet you after a very long hiatus.
So the premise is that we don't hang out other than when we do the show. Is that it?
But nobody else knows that.
I mean, I guess. I don't think. All right. I didn't know you were gonna do this thing where it's like you try to introduce me. Look. All right. What did we watch?
Just you know, you gotta have. We watched an anime about a show in which the cast members are far more professional than Mr. Note Taker here.
All right.
Like, why take notes if you're not going to
What?
introduce
Refer
the
to my
show?
notes, which is what I'm trying to do
You
by
don't
talking.
introduce the show properly.
Go ahead.
No, no, you go ahead.
You want me to go ahead?
Uh,
I'm gonna.
Stop trying to rush through things. Why are you trying to? Are you late to catch a train?
So what happens is I like to get this out while it's fresh in my mind.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I don't want it to go stale. I mean, because
I got a lot
this
of
is
stuff
like
up here.
a riveting
My mind
show.
is like the back of one of those Amazon pickup places. There's always shit moving in and out. So
You can't remember anything.
no, I can't.
See me? I'm notes free because
Mm,
it's all up in here, baby.
mm-hmm.
You should take notes on how to remember stuff in your head.
Did you like this show?
Anime of the season.
I think that's a little hasty. You've only watched 4 or 5 shows so
And
far.
it's that good. It's already anime of the season.
All right, well,
I don't think I'm gonna bet. I'm gonna make a bet. We are not going to watch out of all the stuff we have to watch for this season. For what is this? The summer season? Is this the new fall
this
season?
is summer season, I think.
Summer season. So all the stuff we have to watch for the summer season, we are not going to find a show that we enjoy as much as this one.
I really hope that's not true. I mean, we've got like almost 20 more shows to go.
Summer is not that interesting of a season for anime. I don't think.
Hmm.
At
Uh,
least I don't think. I could be wrong.
I kind of liked it. I'm a little lukewarm on it, but let's go.
Really?
Well, let's talk about it.
Oh, yes, yes.
Uh, uh,
Let's
uh,
refer to our notes, children.
Just
What did you write down, Alvin?
I wrote a lot. I basically did a play-by-play of the whole episode, which would be boring to read back, like all the
Oh,
gags and
yes,
stuff.
yes, yes. I'm glad you've realized that.
All right, well, let me see what I want to bring. All right,
Oh, God.
instead of going through a whole play-by-play, I'm gonna say that even though I only briefly looked at the manga, I can see where the gags in this work. The sight gags, the visual gags of the guy's expressions work a lot better in the manga than they do in the show, because it's like when he goes into that dark inner self and like you see him with a frozen expression.
With the shadows playing
Yeah.
over his face. Yeah, that's definitely it has a stronger impact when it's drawn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you're just met with the text and the drawing of a face, it's a lot. It hits you harder than a guy saying the words and like the scene changing and the music getting dark, and it's like I think if they were gonna, the dialogue needs to hit harder, because you can be subtle with the, like, if it's a guy smiling but he's saying something that's just a little bit off and it's a still image. I think there's humor in that, but if you're going to do that in real time with like animation or motion or even live action, I think it has to hit harder because so
Yeah,
many other things are
I've
fighting
seen
for your attention.
I've seen that done in like in some animes where the drawings were just so intense and like exaggerated that that is should we explain what the premise of the show is?
I think people already know. All right, this guy, he's an ex-gymnast, and now he works on
He
a kids show.
Yeah, he's the host of a kid show. You know what this anime makes me want to check out Japanese children's shows.
I'm sure they're not that great.
Apparently there are certain tropes to them. Like he's the gymnast Oniisan. That's what they're called.
I didn't write that
Okay,
down.
so apparently in Japanese kid shows, and maybe this isn't true for all Japanese kid shows, but apparently there is a host who leads the kids in exercise. It could be a guy or a girl, maybe both. There are also a couple, guy and a girl, who leads the children in singing, and those are the singer, brother, and sister. And I guess the other two on this particular show in Uramichi, there are a bear and a
Rabbit,
rabbit
yeah.
that I guess does the comedy for the children. So
Yeah, we didn't really see them doing much of anything with the kids. Um,
with the bear and the rabbit?
yeah, they're either off stage or they get dragged on stage and then
Yeah.
they cut to a new
Yeah,
scene.
well they're probably there for like, like comedy, playtime, fun stuff. So
Hmm. All right. Uh,
and Uramichi is the gymnast host.
yeah.
So I guess he leads them in different exercises and he leads the show and stuff. But he's he apparently this dude is bipolar or something. He's got some sort of like mental affliction going on. I don't know how this guy keeps his job because he keeps interspersing all his cheery dialogue to these children because I guess it's a recorded show where they actually have real children on, and he keeps interspersing his cheery dialogue with like these black pills to
Mhm.
these kids, and these kids do not know what the heck he's talking about. And
Yeah.
apparently, all the adults that work on this show, at least the ones on screen, their lives are just a mess, and they're extremely dissatisfied with life, and it's actually it's somewhat depressing.
Well, I wrote down later like this comes up two or three times in the show. The concept of when you should give up or questioning whether you should give up. And
What do they mean by give up? Do they mean like check out or?
no, well, I think they mean give up on hoping that anything will ever get better. No, I don't
What does
think they
that
mean.
look like?
All right, I thought about this. See, you could tell I'm all over the place, and that's because we've been gone so long. But all right. What does that mean? Because I know there's a point in this where Kumo is like, "Hey, man, you used to be our senpai or whatever that word is," and it's like,
in college, they
yeah,
all the rabbit and the bear and the host of the show went to the same
it,
physical education
I
college.
said Kumo. It was the rabbit. It was Usa or some shit.
Yeah, the Usagi, yeah, the rabbit, yeah.
I don't think it's Usagi. I think it's Usa.
Well, no, Usagi means rabbit.
But it's not his name.
No, I know it's Usahara. Jesus Christ.
No, but that's not the rabbit's name either. The rabbit's not
No, I'm
named
not.
Usagi.
No,
Why would you say Usa? All right, this
no,
gets
no,
into
the
it.
guy's name in the rabbit costume is Usahara, I think.
Yes, but when they call him out on stage, he's like I wrote it down. He's like Usao or some shit.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's his name, but
Yeah,
he's the
Usao.
rabbit, which is Usagi.
That is
Usagi.
all right.
That's what rabbit is in Japanese.
But his character's name is Usao.
What does Usagi mean? It means Japanese rabbit.
I'm just all right. Fine.
Have
Now,
you ever seen that meme?
yeah, I've seen that. I'm gonna bring that up later too. What were we talking about before you sidetracked me? Giving up?
Yeah, giving up. What does giving up look like?
Oh yeah, Usao is talking to Uramichi, and he's like, he used to something about like like we used to think like never give up or like something to the effect of like you influenced us to never give up, and Uramichi or like it says like you don't lose unless you give up, And Uramichi says there are some games where you aren't allowed to give up.
Even
God.
if you lose.
Even if you lose
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't know.
Which I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe you have to be depressed in order to get that.
All right. Some games you can't quit even when you give up. And I thought about that, and it's like I feel like he's like, in his state, he's just like looking at the game over screen for the rest of his life. It's like, because you're like, oh, does he want to kill himself? I don't understand.
No. You can't say that.
I could say whatever. I'm not gonna. No.
You have to say like self delete or something.
Oh, too late. I'm not.
Because that's triggering to people.
All right. Well. So yeah, I think he's obviously not suicidal. He's just. Your mind when you're watching it is like, well, if you hate life so much, why don't you kill yourself?
Oh no, gosh, I would never say that.
Well, that's what you were implying when you're like,
no, I'm not.
You seem so confused by his statement.
I was confused. That doesn't mean that I wanted to. I was trying to. I was trying to figure out what he meant. Did he mean suicide or did
no? It's obvious he's not suicidal.
What does it mean to check out but not self-delete? I don't understand.
Well, maybe you should never understand. Because I understand.
What? Wait. You know what it means to give up on
to face the possibility of just losing, just existing, but without purpose. But still existing.
So like giving up on your dreams?
Not just your dreams, but like I said, giving up on anything good ever happening.
What? You don't act like that.
This isn't about me. I'm trying to help you understand the character.
I mean, giving up on anything good happening in your life? Like, how does a person live like that? I don't.
Well, we haven't seen the whole show. We're going to find out.
Like, what's keeping you going?
That's another thing we're probably going to find out.
Like, okay, all right. Like, look, don't. To anybody listening to this and you're frustrated by my naivete or whatever, look, I don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm one of those normies that actually has a very optimistic outlook on life, and maybe you hate me for it, but
I don't think so.
I look. All I can say is gambare.
All right. Well, let me look at these because there's a couple things I had, and I remember one or two. And there the next thing after that I had a question about was that smoking scene where he's like any adult would be two-faced or even three-faced, and then he looks at the camera and says, "Hey, you kids, pretend you didn't see anything."
Did he mean like the real him? Like, because when he's with the children on the show, he's always cheery and smiling, and we caught him in his personal space and he's smoking and he looks deeply unhappy, so he's telling the audience like, hey, don't pretend you're not seeing this side of me.
But he shows us this side of him all the time. I think in that moment, it's hard for me to explain.
Please explain it to me. So you seem to have like a connection with this character when it comes to like giving up on life. So
I don't know. Maybe in that moment shit just got a little too real, and like his whole thing is balancing being utterly black-pilled and at the same time having a job where he said during the show the job actually does keep him going. I mean, I don't think he was kidding when he said that.
Oh, yeah.
So
wait, when did he say that? Was it when he said like, playing with your children is what gives me?
Yeah, what gives me joy and keeps it, or something like that.
That's what I was telling you before, that I do believe he really loves the kids.
I think so too. Yeah, but he's also black-pilled all to hell.
And we could be wrong because this is only the first episode. Yeah. Maybe it'll come out later that he really is.
And we're really late on this. There are like 5 episodes released so far.
Yeah.
So, and like in the comic or in the manga, it's translated like, did all adults have them a hidden face or two. Pretend you didn't see it, my wonderful children. And then the narration is the outer and the inner are always one. And I have no idea what the fuck that means.
I don't know. That's some Japanese mysticism.
Because it's like, it's not even like he's trying to hide his blackpilling from the kids. I mean, he just pours it out on them every day. So I'm a little confused. I think, and I know this is kind of my fallback, but maybe this is kind of like a Japanese way of looking at life.
Yeah, like apparently there's this like really short director that looks like that character from that designer from The Incredibles. But the director is always nodding in approval to whatever Uramichi says to these kids, which is highly inappropriate. But and I was convinced, and like Alvin is gonna get on me for this, but when we first watched this first episode, I was convinced that none of this was really happening. There was no children's show. This is just one very sad man's delusion, and he was just acting out his mental state through imagining himself as the host of a children's show, and the children were representative of his lost potential, and the director was really the psychologist, and Alvin is like, stop being stupid. That sounds stupid.
No. It's not that
this is
you're
really
being...
happening. Like Alvin was like, I'm going to be really mad if this is not real, because Odd Taxi really made him angry.
Hey, no spoilers for Odd Taxi.
Okay.
No, it's just, I have a thing where I'm watching something where I like to judge it on face value. I don't like going inside my head and being like, oh, what does this really mean? I'm like, well, this is what they're showing me.
Symbolism, get that crap out of here.
Well, I can deal with symbolism if it's presented as symbolism. Whatever.
More like metaphor.
Okay. All right. Another thing is like that pose when he gets out of bed.
Oh.
That's the realest fucking like get out of bed pose that I've ever seen in an anime, because I've done that. I think I do that at least once a week, where you're just on your hands and knees, and like you just feel this weight pushing you back down into bed, but you're like, your limbs are straining, and you're like, no, I've got to get up.
Wow.
And he's just gripping the clock with one hand. I'm like, all right, well, somebody gets it.
And he seems absolutely dejected by the fact that that tomorrow keeps coming, and he has to face another day.
For someone who supposedly drinks a lot, you don't see him really tying it on, and it's like he doesn't really act like a drunk, which that goes back to my whole problem with him.
Well, that is very much like you, the way you have to like. Well, it's time to cap off the night with a little bit of drink just to take the edge
but
off.
apparently this guy drinks a lot of cheap sake. But
no, I don't think they implied he drank a lot of cheap sake.
Oh, maybe he just drinks enough to...
He drinks in front of his dramas, just like you drink in front of your shows.
Hey, stop snitching on me.
It's not like you're swilling in liquor.
Yeah, but I don't wake up like that all the time. And this guy's... And I don't go around blackpilling people with my thoughts on how life is meaningless and how they should watch out for the traps that have already,
You do that to me a lot.
Yeah, well. All right, so something else.
Like, I can't... Yeah, the way he got out of bed, that was really sad. Because I'm pretty much just kind of spoingy when it comes to waking up.
Boo,
like,
shut up.
Spoing. Like,
No, you're not. I've seen you get out.
6:30, spoing, time to go for a run.
You're going to have to,
Well, no.
You shouldn't be lying on the show.
I wasn't always like that. That's true. I had those, like especially during the, COVID lockdowns, I got really depressed and it was hard getting out of bed. Sometimes I would sleep till 11 o'clock or noon. I was really depressed. But, I turned that around, changed my diet, started exercising, and now I get up in the morning and greet the day, and it's great.
All right. Well,
I love it.
That's great.
I wish I could get a hold of Uramichi so we can go for a run.
Maybe somebody will. This is just the first episode.
Please don't punch me, person listening to this.
I also noticed that this guy did the voice of Levi from Shingeki no Kyojin.
Kiyoshi.
The main character from Prison School.
Kiyoshi.
And I noticed during his dark moments, that's when his voice kind of goes to Levi.
Yeah.
And when he's a little introspective, that's when he goes to Kiyoshi from Prison School. So I just thought that was funny.
I
Uh,
really love this voice actor.
he's all right.
Itagara?
Ita who?
The one the doofy one that laughs at penis jokes.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna get to that.
Yeah.
Let me just go through that. Observer. Okay, Usuhara. I mean, his deal is he's always broke. I can understand that.
Usara is the guy in the rabbit
Yeah.
costume.
Kuma Tommy. Observant but doesn't make use of his broader views. I have no idea what the fuck that means.
I guess it means that he just kind of stays out of stuff or what. I
I
don't know.
guess. I
It's
mean,
like he's a I can't be bothered kind of guy.
I did like the guy. I wrote down Daga, but I forgot his. He has a first name that he.
Yeah, that's
Ikiteru. But I thought,
Ikiteru?
yeah, that scene where he's looking at his watch, and then he's like, "What time is it?" Because he can't fucking read it. That was
You
pretty
know
funny.
what? That is like such a real moment, and that I think that was one moment that really made me sad in the whole anime.
What?
Is that people don't know how to read from analog watches.
That's what made you sad?
I mean, yes, I know it's a dumb thing to be sad about, but
Not
I'm
the
like,
32-year-old woman that wants to get married and had
Look, girl.
been living with her boyfriend for 5 years.
well, yeah, look, she's got to make some hard choices, okay?
I don't think she has any choices. That's her
I mean,
problem.
well, you got to give that dude an ultimatum. Either he craps or get off the pot. He's wasting her time.
She's got no one else. If she loses this guy, who's she gonna have? She's gonna have nobody. She's starting over from ground zero.
No, that's not true. She needs to have a little bit more confidence in herself. And if she tells the dude, like, look, we need to get married. I'm not getting any younger. I want to start a family. If you're just, if you're not ready, you're wasting my freaking time.
I don't think they do that in Japan.
You don't know. Shoot,
All right.
the biological impulse is strong. I think that's a womanly call. No matter where you go in the world, don't waste my time.
Look, she's down for her unpopular comedian boyfriend, and I say good for her.
No, girl, don't do it. Don't
right.
don't waste your
Do
time
you
on that mofo. You get yourself a guy that wants to get. And you know what? And this is where women mess up. They set the bar too high. They want a full package when it comes to man. He's got to be cute, he's got to be funny, he's got to be intelligent, he's got to make this kind of money and stuff like that. Like, if you can get yourself a man that is responsible, who's loyal, he wants to start a family. Maybe he's not the cutest dude in the world.
In Japan.
I don't know, or maybe he's a little bit older. But the thing is that you got to get with a guy who shares your values and stop waiting for the dude because Mr. Perfect isn't out there.
Look,
Yeah.
she was an unpopular pop star,
Yeah.
a jazz club performer, and one other thing that I forgot to write down.
Singer Oniisan.
No, there was before she became Cimarronesa.
Oh.
I think these people. I mean, it's not just her. The rest of them. It's like they have to. There's something inside them that they have to come to terms with before they think about getting in relationships with other people. So
Well, she's
I don't.
in a relationship.
Okay, never mind. All right.
Well, I don't know. I personally feel that the Airhead singer Oniisan,
Mm-hmm.
he seems kind of gay to me.
No, he's just cool.
He's not cool. He's a doofy.
All right.
The guy that's in the rabbit costume, he
hardly
wants to have a girl.
he hardly said anything. We don't know anything about him.
No, the one in the rabbit costume.
Oh no, I think of the other guy.
See, you know what? You take all these dang notes and you can't keep up with.
I
the
can barely
characters.
read my own writing.
I was like, that's sad, man.
All right, so he said he has a girlfriend.
No, he said he wants girls.
Okay,
He
well,
wants to be popular with girls. He should hook up.
Well,
with
he
a
obviously-
32-year-old.
no, oh yeah, right. Where they work, your coworker?
Yeah.
No,
Office romance.
no,
baby.
no. All right. The only other thing that I really wanted to get through was the Richard Feynman gag, which
Yeah, we had to take a lot of like detours and
yeah,
scenic routes to figure out what was going on with that. Because when I first saw that scene, and yeah, the caption said Richard Feynman, and I'm like, I didn't hear him say Richard
yeah.
Feynman.
So like we watched it a few times, and it's like I know he was saying something, and plus like it's like the whole joke was like it was something with chin because that means penis,
Yeah.
and it's like you wouldn't say like Richard Feynman would not be funny in Japanese. So you go back to the notes, and he's actually saying Chindaru Gensho, which is the Tyndall effect, and like even that confused me until it was like, oh yeah, Tyndall in Japanese is like Chindaru, and basically there was one joke in the manga, and the animated translation, the translators are localizers, I should
Yeah, they
say,
took it upon themselves to change the joke for English speakers.
which I can understand on one hand how like I'm more into like I think we should bring back translation notes like that whole meme that you
Yeah.
almost brought it like keikaku means plan.
Yeah.
We need I am a proponent for those because I want to hear the original joke.
Exactly. I really don't. I understand that it's coming from like a place of consideration. It's like, oh, we gotta change this because they're not gonna get it. But I would rather have like more or less of a direct translation of what they're actually saying in, what stuff comes off as funny to the Japanese. Like we don't watch anime so they can appeal to our cultural um
Like
norms,
humors or
or our cultural humor
yeah,
and
don't
stuff
feel
like
you have
that.
to like change it for me because I wouldn't get it. I mean,
We'll
I,
look it up. We
yeah.
we literally did. We looked up. We listened very closely.
And once you understand what he's saying and why he's laughing, then it's like maybe they're afraid that like understanding interrupts the journey from listening to laughing, like it ruins the comedy. But it's like I don't know, I don't like
I
that.
don't agree. But, if we were serious about it, then we would just learn Japanese
I can't learn
and
Japanese; it's too hard.
and watch the
Yeah, so
Raws.
basically, I'm yelling at these translators. I'm like, be more accurate and give me what I
Yeah,
want.
for free.
Yeah. No, I paid for this.
No, you're doing a wonderful job translating.
Yeah.
No,
And then
yeah.
it's like,
Thank you.
it's like the reply, it's like he's talking about the Chindal effect, Chindaru Gensho, and like Uramichi's reply is like the translation was, oh, he studied particles or whatever, when he literally is talking about like some effect where you look at light and it spreads out, and it's like I don't know.
I mean, like at this point, you'd have to realize by now that most people who watch anime is gonna know what chin means.
I feel like maybe back in the day, but maybe now they don't.
You think
No,
no?
I think somebody who just started watching anime from Toonami probably doesn't know anything about like Japanese slang.
No, I hope that's not true. I want to say, like, do you think like the new generation of anime watchers, like, the kids, right? Do you think they know more or less about like Japanese cultural nuances
See, the thing you
than people like us who have been watching anime for a very long
the
time?
risk you run in a statement like that is you present yourself as somebody who actually knows a solid amount about Japanese culture when I have to.
No, no,
I don't.
I don't.
I just know enough to complain.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not saying that I'm very well versed in it. I'm
Well,
just asking, like, you know, do you think they're gonna know a little bit more or less?
well, the thing
I
is,
mean, because they do have like
the internet.
yeah, I mean, they do have like a lot of information to at their disposal, like more so than what we had when we were watching
Yeah, but
anime.
they also got to be like they got to be kids, like do other stuff. Like when I was a kid, I
We have to
watched.
be adults and do other
No,
stuff.
but like I started with Robotech, other shit, and like I didn't care about the differences, and like there's no way I could I mean, I was so busy being a kid and like preparing for being an adult. There's no way I could go to the side and be like, oh, what are they really saying? And of course, I didn't have the resources. There's no way I could have got the raws and looked up stuff online. But like, the thing is, like, I don't. Is this show for a kid who usually just watches like Dragon Ball and Robotech and like the popular stuff? Like, or is it? I don't know who's watching this.
No, I think this is a show that's for people who will go out of their way to like
Look up the actual translation of the joke so it makes sense.
and possibly sail the seven seas in search of
I don't
it.
know what you're talking about. But and this I may be wrong about this, but this also brings me to the final gag in the episode where the rabbit guy is at he's in the mess hall and he's talking about Uramichi behind his back and he's like if I what I want to call him? I want to call him Gloomy Macho. And did he say like Dekura or something?
Oh yeah, Deca Macho or something.
And I'm like, that wasn't. It didn't make. See, this time it didn't make sense. So maybe they gave me a straight translation.
Alvin, like I think Alvin.
What
is
what?
He nitpicks way too much. I mean, he's insisting that there's a pun there that we're missing, and there probably is.
I want to know.
Well, then learn Japanese.
I can't. It's too hard.
It's not that it's too hard. It's just like you won't dedicate the time to learn it.
See, and this is where we go to the back to you not being black-pilled. What? You still believe that if you try hard enough, you can do whatever you set your mind to.
It's just the language. People learn other languages all the time.
I have a life.
It's not building a rocket to the moon.
I have a life. I would have to sacrifice
so much.
You know
what you do?
Don't you
know what you do in that life?
Yes, I know, and don't tell these innocent people what I do with my life.
There are plenty of temporal gaps in that life for you to learn another language.
Don't throw my temporal gaps in my face.
Between you like lamenting getting out of bed.
I thought you were going to say something else. That doesn't take. Well, it does take long. Anyway, no, that's me. Parapants likes the show. Shut up, I'm tired. So
anime of the season.
See,
I'm saying
there's that positive outlook again. You're like, oh, I like it, so it's the best. Like
it's the best. And if we come across
based on no evidence, you have insufficient evidence to make that statement.
This is what is this? The third?
This is like the fourth show we've
show we watch, and out of the 4 anime of the season.
Okay, fine.
Far,
I'll accept that.
So far.
If you put the so far, then I'll accept it.
And you'll accept it. Who the heck are you?
I'm the arbiter of all that is logical.
But if we come across one that's even better, I have even more reason to be happy.
All right.
Right now, I'm happy. If we come across an even better anime, I'll be even happier. So I can't lose.
All right. Well, I hope in the future we get into this guy's head a little more. So.
Oh, yeah. I really hope it's just not him throwing black pills all over the floor.
I wouldn't even call them black pills. They're more like gray pills.
No, they're really dark.
Hardly. What? Oh, when you're older, no one will play peekaboo with you?
No, he said, like, what is the meaning of my existence? He did say that.
No, all right, but he wasn't saying that to the kids. I think he was kind of saying that was when he was hunched over, right? After the girl said, "You're 2 years older than my dad. Why don't you have a wife and kids?" Is that when he said that?
Do you think he wants that?
A wife and I don't know anything about him. All I know is what's happened to him.
He seemed pretty taken aback when the little girl asked that question. Like, why aren't you married with children?
I think it's the theme of the show is what do you want out of life? And I think maybe he has an idea of where he should be. Because
it does seem to be a bit of a crisis in Japan, as far as from what I've been seeing.
Speaking as two experts on
Japanese culture. Speaking as an armchair expert of Japanese culture, via watching their cartoons, mind you. It would appear what? Well,
No,
it
no,
would
carry on.
appear. No, I watch other things about Japan, not
Keep
just their
going, keep going.
cartoons.
I
Come
know. We
on.
watch them make food in those food
No,
stalls.
not just that. I also read things about Japan. I
All right.
read like,
As an expert, keep going.
yeah. It would appear that there is a crisis of interpersonal connection going on in Japan. Like, like
Mm.
people are not.
There's a crisis of interpersonal connection going on through the whole world.
But it it seems like it's really hitting the Japanese a lot harder.
Is it though?
I mean, I don't feel a loss of connection with people.
Uh,
In fact, I just established new connections with people recently.
that's I'm very happy for you.
Well, I don't know.
No, no, no. All right. What I'm trying to. All right.
I mean, okay, like if you want to say that COVID has interfered
No,
with
or maybe that's a big
much
part
of
of
it,
it. Yeah,
yeah.
but I think there's a lot of detachment, and I mean, I'm a little hesitant to say that it's worse in Japan. I know everyone's got this idea of, they don't, they're just kind of like cut off from one another and stuff like that. But I don't know. I don't really, even though I am an expert on Japanese culture
from watching
from watching
Japanese
their cartoons, I still don't think that I have enough data to state that sense of isolation is unique to them. But I don't know.
No, I'm not saying that it's unique, but it would appear to me that they have more to say on it than other cultures. So it appears more pronounced in
Ah.
their culture.
And plus, I mean, it's not. And we don't even know if that's what this guy's trying to say. I'm just guessing.
I don't know. A lot of these people seem to be. I don't know. They seem lonely. That they
These
like they
people, like
have.
the characters.
Yeah, like the adults working on the cartoon on the children's show, they just seem very lonely and detached and like lost, and it's so sad.
Well, that's the good part. But we
I
got to
mean,
watch more
like,
to see.
yeah, they're and okay. Oh, one more thing I wanted to point out about the show. I
Mhm.
really like how innocent and natural the children are. They actually act like children, as opposed like if you took the same show and made it here in the West, then the kids have to be like smarter than the adults. They have to make these witty, snappy comebacks and all this other garbage. I hate the way we represent children in the West,
Well, that's
like little mini adults. Like the children here, like I don't want to say they're blank slates, but they're innocent and they represent so much hope and potential. I think that's what they're trying to get at here. That these children have so much potential, and it actually juxtaposed with how dissatisfied and dejected the adults look. It actually paints a very grim portrait when you look at these children because.
Oh.
Well, yeah, because they're essentially saying, "Hey, kids,
Well, this is your future.
this is your future in Japanese culture, in Japanese society," and it's like, I feel like, wow, that's pretty dark.
Well, if this show was done over here, you'd have a writer's room of people,
Yeah.
just trying to get their jokes in, so they would use the kids as voices for their lines, so
For
that
their
yeah,
ideologies.
no, just so they can get their stuff on the show and secure their next job. At least that's what I think. I don't know. I'm not an expert on Hollywood and Japanese culture, but
We're even less experts when it comes to like Hollywood productions because we don't really watch them.
no. But I was gonna say something else about the kids when you talked, but I forgot. It's
When you
gone.
talk about their potential.
No, no, no. Something. Let's just wrap it up. Anime of the season.
Definitely anime of the season, 100%, and I will not go back on that no matter what.
If you say so. All right, I'm cutting this off.
All right, bye. All right, bye. All right, bye. All right,